Namaste students, I'm here again to have our last session on the poem, and I promise that I will take you to a flight of new plane where you can see the wings of poesy, where imagination plays, the role of imagination gets unleashed. I've already shared that the poem is just a medium through which you have to look at the world. It creates a perspective of the world. So the poem is just a medium. Through poem, you are getting one idea, but that idea has to be multiplied with your imagination, with your references, with your intertextualization. That's our task. Here in this session, we will try to drag you to that level where the poem appears to be a new poem, what you have understood and what you are right now. Let's start. Dagger. Here in the first stanza, the poet has talked about Dagger. Dagger is really famous if you read Shakespeare's Macbeth. Within single minute, I'm just sharing, King Macbeth has killed Duncan with his dagger. But after that, after committing that scene, there is a hallucination, an illusion of dagger in his mind. He could not sleep. So that dagger scene is very famous in Shakespeare's Macbeth. In the second line, she has talked about richly your wares are displayed. It's true about life. I have talked about that life is all about transaction, where exchange is taking place at each and every step. And every time it is our endeavor, it's our striving to show the best that we have inside. Sometimes through our costumes, sometimes through advertisement, or sometimes through popularity. So it's not only about bazaar. I have talked about that life itself is a bazaar where you are showing your different qualities. So it's not for the bazaar only. Human beings, they're also showing their different qualities in different forms, in different fashions, in different ways. At the same time, as it is a bazaar, the poet has taken real care to talk about everybody so that nobody is getting excluded from that list, because bazaar contains all. It's a place of union where all people come, gather, and they share their ideas. So where the transaction takes place. Next, I will talk about flower. Flower is very important. It has multiplied meaning inside. And it's going to be very less if it ends within one session, because if you talk about flower, it's going to be an endless session, continuous session. But I will try to trace back few things that you need to know, and it is all about connection. I have shared in one of my videos, I could not remember exactly which is the video, but in that particular video I've shared that life is all about connection. Literature is all about connection. You have to connect. When Irfan Khan dies, he is not my relative. There is no blood connection. But when an actor, a potential actor, dies, comes down from the stage, definitely we feel sad. And it's literature, because I'm showing a connection. One day when your parents die or your relatives die, you will feel that somehow it's a connection with your stage. They were also actors who were acting with you on the stage of life. So when Irfan Khan dies, you can think that Irfan Khan, why are you crying for Irfan Khan? Why are you so sad about Irfan Khan? Yes, there is a connection. And the connection is that he has done his acting on a stage that is called Bollywood, but everybody on a stage that is life and family, everybody is playing the role of their own. Shakespeare has said this, that this world is a stage. Now flower. One fakir was asked that what is spirituality? And with the help of a flower, he has given a wonderful definition about spirituality, about life. He said, you take a flower and you stampede on it, you smash it. And the flower, without showing any anger, without showing any agitation, without showing any mistreatment to that particular person, it offers perfume. That is spirituality. You are tormented. You are totally disregarded. You are tortured, bruised. You are battered, shattered. But ultimately, you are giving that fragrance to the world. Think about Jesus Christ, what he says when he was crucified. That is spirituality. When he gets that excruciating pain inside, but still he says that save these people, save this world. Who can say this? It's just like flower. That's the spirituality. And flower, it is also very important. When it's a flower, when these flower girls, they are selling flowers. Now it's again the fate of the flower, whether it will be based out or rather it will be conferred to the feet of Lord Krishna or anybody that you believe in. So being a flower, it's your fortune whether you are going to the feet of Lord Krishna or anybody that you believe in, or whether you are going to be a flower or to be a part of the crown that is used for a king or the garland that will be sharing in a marriage, or ultimately you are going to be a sheet that will be an useful thing for the dead body. So it depends. It depends. There in Baul there is one song. That song talks about there is one kodamba full in the middle of the river. And everybody thinks that if I can pluck that flower, if I can offer to the feet of Lord Krishna, I'll be really blessed. So therefore that song looks like this. Ekta kodamba ফুল ফুটেছিল নদীতে, সে ফুলের কোনো তুলনা নেই এই জগতের সাথে. So that's the beauty of that flower. So this is one. Another thing that I want to talk about, the great poet Shakti Chattopadhyay. Shakti Chattopadhyay once said, how beautifully he has mentioned about the flower. He said, ফুলকে দিয়ে মানুষ বড় মিথ্যে কথা বলাই বলি, ফুলের প্রতি কোনোদিনই আমার নজর নেই। তার থেকে আমি ভালোবাসি আগুনের ফুলকি, যা দিয়ে মানুষের মুখোশ করা যায় না। What an imagination. What an imagination by the poet. ফুলকে দিয়ে মানুষ মিথ্যে কথা বলে, because flower is very innocent, very innocent. There is innocence, there is no complexity. It's just like the child. When it's blooming, it gives fragrance, it gives beauty. It has no side effect. There is no negative vibe. There is no negative impression of flower. That is a flower. So that is why he says, ফুলকে দিয়ে মানুষ বড় মিথ্যে কথা বলাই বলি, ফুলের প্রতি আমার কোনোদিন নজর নেই। তার চেয়ে আমি ভালোবাসি আগুনের ফুলকি, যা দিয়ে মানুষের মুখোশ করা যায় না। Think in the same tone, জটিলেশ্বর মুখোপাধ্যায়, another lyricist, he said, আমি ফুলকে যেদিন ধরে বেঁধে আমি সাজি ভরেছি, সেদিন থেকে আমি জেতা বাজি হেরেছি। Again, the same intonation, same comparison, but two different poets, two different artists are giving expression in a different way. If you read Sunil Gangopadhyay, he said, I love flower. And I hate those people who pluck flower and they decorate their home and sometimes the dead bodies. And how did he compare it? You'll be stunned by this comparison of Sunil Gangopadhyay when he said, ফুলকে আমি ভালোবাসি, তা বলে কখনো ফুলের মুন্ডু ছিঁড়ে আমি ফুলদানিতে সাজিয়ে রাখি না। যেমনটি আমি বাচ্চাকেও ভালোবাসি, কিন্তু তাদের কোনোদিন মুন্ডু কেটে আমি ঘরে সাজিয়ে রাখি না। You'll be awestruck by the range of their imagination. That is flower. Flower talks about your softness. Another monk, you can say monk, Shottananda Dev once said that ফুল কখনো আপনার জন্য ফোটে না, অপরের জন্য তোমার হৃদয় কুসুমকে প্রস্ফুটিত করিও। It's true. It's true. A flower never blossoms for itself. It gets flourished. It rather flourishes and blooms for others. So that's the quality of flower. And therefore, with these intonations, with these motives, the poet has ended his poem. So these are the small ideas, these are the scraps of references that I could give you at this point of time. If you research, if you find out, if you read so many books, if you try to connect so many ideas about flower, it's going to be endless process. Innumerable, profuse number of examples. Innumerable, numberless, uncountable. So please do it if you can do it, and if you find out a relation, and if you can concoct these ideas with this poem, it's going to be a flower once again. So this poem, even though it appears to be a sheets of flower, because the fragments, the petals are not connected with the center. It's not connected with center. It is a centrifugal force. In physics you will get it. But if you connect all these ideas, so all the ideas are just like petals. If you can connect those petals and if you can centralize at the center, it's going to be a flower, and that flower is going to decorate the inner flower that you have. And it adds your beauty, your perfume, and everything in your life. And at last, I will end with this, the word perfume. Perfume is another important thing if you read Shakespeare. I have already shared Macbeth. Macbeth, when he killed Duncan, and his hand was totally smeared with blood. He feels that as if he has dipped his hand into the bucket of blood. And when he has washed it, still there is a toxic feeling, acidic. It's not aromatic. And he feels, and Lady Macbeth says, if you dip your hand into the Sea of Arabia, that perfume, Arab country is very famous for perfumes. And what Lady Macbeth said, that if you dip your hand into the sea or perfume of Arabia, your little hand will not be sweetened by this. What is this? The smell of crime can never be washed out. The blood can be washed out. Blood can be washed out. But the psychological pain, the criminal mentality, your repentance, that cannot be washed away anyway. It will be there. So these are the connections. I hope you have assimilated those ideas. Try to gather those ideas, concoct just like the flower girl or flower boys. I'm not going to divide the class by saying girls only. For flower boys and flower girls, connect those ideas and make a flower so that this poem appears to be flowery in your mind. Thank you very much.